Good Sunday morning, everybody. Chris Allen here on the Sam channel on this January 29th. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. Well, it's raining, and it's raining pretty good this morning. You probably heard it coming down on your rooftops, as you can see by the radar. Good coverage here in southern Kentucky, and it's all rain as temperatures are in the 40s this morning. Not anticipating any kind of changeable weather here. It's all just going to be rain, and most of it's going to come this morning. But even when this moves out this morning, you can see the back end of it now in parts of western Kentucky. Even when this moves out, we're not done with the rain. There is more. There's wave after wave after wave of rain that's coming over the next several days. In fact, into this coming week, there's going to be several chances for rain. And in some cases, there will even be that chance that we could see some frozen precipitation with that and not necessarily snow. That's what's piqued our interest very much so over the coming days, as you'll soon find out in detail. But for those of you who don't want the details, let me just give you this. The model blender, this is the blender that takes in the models and spits out what we think is going to, on kind of an average, is going to happen over the next 10 days. Temperature wise, we're going to go into the low 50s today with the rains dissipating, but there's still going to be some lingering drizzle from time to time, even this afternoon and this evening. But the bulk of the heavier rains are coming through right now as of 10 after 5 as I record this podcast this morning. Tomorrow will be slightly cooler, and there will still be some showers around 46, mid 40s. But actually, that is right on the average of where we're supposed to be temperature wise for this time of the year, mid to upper 40s. Then we get a shot of colder air coming in Tuesday, and that's when things get a little tricky between what kind of precipitation we're going to have: rain, freezing rain, sleet, maybe a little snow. Oh, again, details are coming up. Then we hop right back into the 40s by Wednesday, the first day of February. And we stay in the 40s much of the week ahead, into the upper 40s for next weekend. And then we see another warming trend coming our way as temperatures will hop back into the 50s next week. Not this coming week, but the next week. So, no major shots of cold air except that one day on Tuesday when it will get cold, and some of the nights, as you see there, will get a little chilly with temperatures in the 20s. All right, let's check the current situation with the rain coming down. I'm going to start with rainfall totals over the past 24 hours, according to the Kentucky Mesonet Network. And as you can see here, we've got over southern Kentucky, we've got places like Bonaire, which is over in Barron County, near the Warren County line where that Kentucky Mesonet site is. Nearly 0.6 of an inch of rain, and almost that much over in Metcalfe County. Then 0.3 down in Monroe County, half inch exactly. Down in Scottsville and Allen County, about that much. In Franklin, Simpson County, a half inch. Over in Logan County, almost that much here in Warren County. So you can see that most everybody here averaging about a half inch of rain for the past, well, since midnight. Not 24 hours, since midnight, as it says here on the banner. That's pretty good rainfall. I've heard it come down pretty good. And this is about how much rain yesterday when I did this podcast said this is about how much we're going to get. Lesser amounts actually back to the west. But the bulk of the more steady rain has been right here in southern Kentucky. So there's still a little bit more coming down over the next hour or so. Then it's going to start to taper off. Temperatures are in the 40s, as you see here, low 40s across Bowling Green, southern Kentucky, back to the west, mid 40s, a little bit warmer. So it actually does warm up. The winds are coming out of the south and southwest, so it's going to keep us mild as we go through the day. So once these rains move out, we're going to see the mild air in place, and everything's going to be all right. So we don't have any worries of any kind of winter weather today anywhere close to us here in southern Kentucky. Now let's take a look at our new maps here, and this is the one that is going to show not only the winds coming out of the south, but temperatures as we go through time. Here we are right now, starting this morning. You can see the 40s all over the place, and now even some 50s showing up back here into western Kentucky. So I'm starting the timeline here, and you can watch it go across. See, this was one thing that was missing with the other maps that I was showing you. I could never show you the time, but now you can actually see it moving, and you can see the wind particles moving in and showing us warming up today into the low 50s right there. So 52, 53 today. Now notice the winds begin to shift. You see that late tonight? We begin to get a little bit of a wind shift. And notice now the winds are coming in from the north. So that's a sign of a disturbance that's coming through. Actually, a bit of a cold front. The cold front is actually a little bit back here to the west, but this is a sign that that cold front is then going to start to allow more Arctic air to come in from the north as we get into Monday. This is why I love this, because I'm able to show you movement of the wind and how things change instead of a static shot, then another static shot. That this is actually moving and flowing like the weather does. I know I'm obsessing about this, but I just think it's so cool. So you see here, this is like midnight tonight. We're going to start to see and feel winds coming in from the north. So let's keep this timeline going here. Here we go into 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, 3. We're still in the 40s here, so that's not bad. But notice 30s and then even some 20s, that blue showing up here. You know, here we go into Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're still in the 40s, but I do think we're going to, with that wind, we're going to start to feel temperatures going down tomorrow afternoon in the 30s. Here we are at 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening with more of a northerly wind. See the little particles here? The winds are coming in from the north, and we fall to 37 after being in the low 40s for a good chunk of the day. So let's get into the tricky part here, where we get into Monday night, tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. That's when that Arctic air takes over. High pressure begins to fill in, but there's still moisture here. And because of that, we get cooled moisture. And this is, look, we're now getting at 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, we're getting right down to freezing. The winds are still coming in from the north. We're not going to see a whole lot of warming on those days. Tuesday afternoon, we may warm up close to mid to upper 30s, but then we're going to fall right back down. And this is going into Tuesday night. Here we are, 10 o'clock, midnight, and we do this all over again. It's almost like during the nighttime, there's going to be these waves of moisture coming through, and we get cold enough for it to be something. That's why I'm saying the more critical time that we're looking at for something to actually happen is going to be during the late night to early morning hours over the next few nights. Not tonight. Here we are into Wednesday afternoon, and now we're getting more of a northeasterly wind flow, light northeasterly winds, and we're in the 40s. So, yeah, it's going to be a little tricky, I think, some of these nights, the next few nights. That's why we're looking at the possibility of some issues once we get cold enough for those issues to happen. So let's take a look at that with the precipitation type that we're going to see. And here we go. This is right now. This is right now, just like I showed you before with the radar. Showing the rain, all blue here is rain across the area. All rain. Here's a little bit of a mix to freezing rain. That purple is freezing rain. And where you're seeing that kind of a tan color, that brown color, that's more like mix of ice and maybe a little snow back there in parts of Missouri. So let's put this into motion from right now to what's coming. So here we go into the day today. This morning, close to, I would say, maybe around noontime, we'll start to see the showers taper off into just drizzle. But we're not done with this system. The heaviest of the rains will be done, I think, later this morning and into the afternoon. Here we go into this evening. This is just drizzle that just kind of hangs around. But like I showed you in the last bit of graphics, the cold air starts to come southward. And see the wind shift. Here we go again. Winds coming in from the north overnight tonight. Here's 4 a.m., 5, 6, 7 in the morning, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon. Not much going on tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the upper 30s to low 40s with the winds shifting more northward. But then here comes another piece of energy. And these little things are going to just keep coming, one after the other. Here is Monday night, midnight. Now, this is when it starts to get a little more critical. Notice here in Bowling Green, we're at a temperature of 34, mainly rain, but then we'll start to see some particles of ice mixing in, maybe sleet and freezing rain. This brown back here is more sleetish, if you will. Maybe even a little snow mixed in with it once you get up to Evansville and, Louisville. This again is midnight tomorrow night. Winds coming out of the north and the changeover. So I think Tuesday morning early is when we're going to see the best opportunity for a period of freezing rain. Now, again, let me explain this because it is confusing. I grant it is. When we say freezing rain, that means exactly what it sounds like. Rain that comes down because we've got a warm layer, but then the surface is colder, or near the surface, near the pavement, near the ground, near your car, it's cold. So the rain freezes on contact. It's different from sleet. Okay. Sleet is actual ice pellets that fall where it's colder up above us, but not cold enough for snow. So the water droplets begin to freeze before they hit ground. That's sleet. Okay. So what we're seeing here is rain transitioning over to freezing rain and then some sleet to snow on the backside of the system. This is all like, as you see on the bottom of the screen, 3 a.m. Tuesday morning. So if you're getting up about that time, you're going to have maybe some icing going on bridges and overpasses, maybe a little sleet at times mixed in there. And here's 8 a.m. Tuesday morning with the winds coming in from the north. That rain is going to make that transition and continue to make that transition over to some frozen stuff. Snow, not looking at anything for us. This is all just going to be that freezing rain and sleet. And there's midnight Tuesday. No, I'm sorry, noon. Noon Tuesday, it starts to fade away. But then there's more moisture coming in after that. You see it right down here. Let me even move it. All of this is Dallas. This is down towards San Angelo, Fort Worth. All of that is going to move, follow these lines right up into southern Kentucky. And that's on into Wednesday and into Thursday. That's why I say this thing is going to come in waves, one after the other, and keep us in that zone of moisture where, and the temperatures are going to be just right there on the border, straddling the fence back and forth. That's going to keep it interesting. Let's just call it that, interesting, over the next several days. That's why we're looking at the possibility of maybe this freezing rain and sleet affecting travel once we get into early Tuesday morning, and then at certain times even after that. Well, let's take a look at the maps, surface maps here. The setup is rainy today. We're on the warm side of things. The colder air has not come in yet, but here it is with high pressure over the plains. And eventually that colder air is going to spill down where we are by tomorrow afternoon and evening. But the coldest air coming in tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. Here's tomorrow afternoon. Here comes the cold front. Here comes the colder air, the shift of the winds from the north, as I showed you, and then the transition will begin just to our north. So showers tomorrow evening. Low pressure rides along the front. We keep everything rain for a while. And then here we go into Monday. Some scattered showers left over, but here's our overrunning feature. And by overrunning, we've got the warm air and the colder air starts to cut underneath some of that warm air. And with these low pressure systems, there's, well, just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in line here that's going to make that hump and then go over Texas, pick up some Gulf moisture. This is Pacific and Gulf moisture from the Baja of California. All of that's coming our direction. And now that the air has been made colder on Monday night into Tuesday morning, that's when we start to see that transition. And there we go. Look at it spreading over the area. So Tuesday morning is going to be a critical time for travel. We could have bridges and overpasses ice up first. This is not going to be an ice storm situation. So please don't post or go to people and say, Chris Allen's calling for an ice storm, because I'm not, and no one else is either. We're talking about just cold enough for a layer of ice, mainly bridges and overpasses, but we could find some pavement temperatures getting cold enough to where a back road or someplace like that could ice over for a time on Tuesday. And then here we go into Wednesday, still overrunning moisture coming on here with a mix of rain, freezing rain, and sleet, especially during the nighttime. Then going back to rain. This is Thursday. Then by Friday, we're finally done with this. And then there's the weekend. Saturday looks good, mostly sunny, temperatures upper 40s to near 50, and we're done with all of that. Okay? But until that time, not today you're going to have to worry. Not tonight you're going to have to worry. Not even tomorrow. But it's tomorrow night into Tuesday morning will be the first opportunity to find some ice around the area. And of course, I'll be up, I'll be out, I'll be doing one of these updates at that hour, and I'll, have my camera in my truck and go out and check the roads before you guys go into work. Okay, that'll do it for your Sunday, January 29th update. Thanks for watching as always. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning.